And when I hopped on the plane to head up here from San Antonio, it was, wow, I'm not going to be home.
Has that been tough at all?
A little bit, but having my family come up here, say hi, get to hang out with them has definitely helped a lot.
How is your voice?
I'll say it's solid.
I was just reading your bio about granddad.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Have you already taken the Well, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Especially with having family connections to a lot of different areas, it's definitely fun.
Yeah, like, is that, I mean, what are the perks? Maybe perks is the wrong word. What are the cool things about being a kid growing up where you have that access to the things those dudes are doing?
I mean, my grandpa was best friends with Jim Ross. If you ever watch AEW, watching that stuff, being able to know, oh yeah, my grandpa has his number.
Sure.
And then having like,
doesn't he have like barbecue sauce or something? Is that right?
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
Yeah.
And then one of like the Falcons legends, Jeff Van Note. He's best friends with him still to this day, but like it's really cool to have the access to, especially the knowledge, and even hear him knowing Kevin Donnelly. That's when my uncle was on a radio station with him. So having people that I know before that personally here is really nice, and just knowing that even outside of the family that's here, I also have people that are family friends here. So
they know the business.
Yes, they know the business of sports. They understand the business of broadcasting, and I guess putting yourself out there. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Sure, and the day-to-day, and
Have you heard Kevin Donnelly yell yet?
Yes, I have quite a few times before and since I've been here.
Well, how different is it here?
A little bit, not crazy amount.
He's got some energy, huh?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, Duke week, he's usually ringing the victory bell. The victory bell when they beat Duke, that's usually he's laying on that thing pretty good.
From his hands.
I bet the sports trivia, like when you guys have family get-togethers, Christmas, whatever things, I bet the sports trivia is off.
It's anything competition-wise.
Yeah.
It's my whole family. It's awesome, though, knowing that there's some competition, no matter what event it is.
Right.
Sports trivia to Monopoly. You're all going after it.
Right.
How often do you win? Or do you
well, sometimes. It's hard to beat my dad, hard to beat my grandpa, but I occasionally win, I think.
So what are their thoughts about you playing? I know that your grandfather is pretty active on Twitter, very proud. What are their thoughts about you?
Pretty active on Twitter.
Yeah, no, they definitely are excited. It's I guess, cool experience to have that much background, all excited, and most of them have a media presence with that, so it's kind of fun to see them brag on me a little bit, and then seeing some random people that you're like, oh, they know who I am.
Are you a tackle?
Yes.
Left tackle, right tackle, does it matter? Where would you say you project?
One of the two tackles. I don't really know projection-wise right now. I mean, I've played right, I've played left in high school, so there isn't really a set position for me.
I guess it differs when you have a left-handed and right-handed quarterback too, right? Like
that is very true. Because Connor and then Max, two completely different sets of O-line you would almost look at with that setup. So it's definitely interesting.
Andrew, I mean, sorry if you've been, asked this already, but I mean, just, you kind of bring up, your spots on the line, things like that. What's it been like kind of getting to know, obviously, Randy Clements to this point? Just kind of, what do you observe about his, his coaching style?
It's good. It's definitely no nonsense, if it makes sense to that extent. Yeah. It's a lot of, let's get the technique right, and we're going to do it right. If you don't do it right, you're going to do it again until you get it right, which is something that I like, because if you're going to do it right.
What do they say? Do it right, do it right, do it light, do it wrong, do it long?
I guess that's
It's a 90s saying for you.
How much of a challenge has that been? Because big dudes like you in high school don't have to rely on fundamentals too much. And for linemen on both sides of the ball, they get to college, suddenly they have to rely heavily on fundamentals. In a lot of cases, they have to learn the fundamentals.
Honestly, the thing that I did pride myself in high school was fundamentals, because, I mean, the division football I played was 6A Georgia football. Yeah. I'm going up against guys that are bigger than me, especially when I was coming up through high school as a sophomore and junior. I was 265 pounds as a junior and 230 pounds as a sophomore. So I had to more rely on being able to move people off technique and having to rely on that in pass pro as well, because those guys are faster than me, and they're older than me, they're stronger than me. And honestly, I've just kind of hit the reset button. Now I'm bigger with better technique, and I just got to restart that process going up against guys that could be first-round draft picks.
So do you think it kind of puts you ahead of what might be the typical curve for a guy coming in?
I believe so, especially with all the training that I got outside of my school, especially with all that.
You do a lot of camping?
I did a lot.
A lot of football camps?
Yeah, I did a lot of football camping.
Got to clarify.
It's a great question. It's a great question.
It is a good question.
I should know the campfire. Like, that's relevant.
S'mores.
No, I did quite a few camps over the 2 years that I did them. So
You got to go against a lot of dudes there, too.
oh yeah, absolutely. I thought it helped improve myself as well and improve my development from year to year.
How quick are you off the snap?
I'd say pretty good. I have to be.
Yeah.
And with especially these guys here, it's going to be even have to be faster now. So
Is there a built-in connection at all with Austin, the Georgia transfer, since you guys are Georgia boys? Like you're talking about playing 6A. I remember we were talking to him not long ago. He was like, yeah, I played 5A. And, you know, like, is there any sort of connection there?
I mean, there's always the connection. If you're from a similar place, you're going to end up knowing a lot about the places that you're from. But I feel like with him being as much older as he is from me, I mean, it's more of just kind of, oh, it's cool. Not really a connection. Like, I'll probably know more people if they were, like, coming in, like, my friend Aiden, who I think you were.
Keep going. You're good.
Yeah, we talked.
Yeah.
You interviewed him earlier.
Yeah.
And that was, like, I know a good bit of his friends. We live probably 45 minutes apart.
Gotcha.
Before we moved up here. So that's more, like, Georgia connection would be more my age. Like, I've played against guys that are at other schools right now starting. So it's cool to see that as well, having the connections, being able to go up and go, oh yeah, I know that guy across the field from me.
Right.
Why'd you come here?
I guess the distance was good. Like, I mean, you're not going to find a better academic school as well with that. It's the good medium, I guess is how I could put it.
Combination football.
The combination, especially with this football team being top 25 basically every year and just kind of having to figure it out is a good situation to be in, knowing that we could be a lot higher right now, especially with the team we have. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that we could be top 10 easily. So.
We were talking about with Desmond Jackson a minute ago about some like equipment you guys have here for the offensive line.
Yep.
And he's talking about tying his hands together so it doesn't keep them apart. Or like, what is that stuff you've been using? And we've like.
We have like bands that we put around our ankles.
Okay.
For taking
I've
sets.
seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome. They've been a really good help for a lot of guys, I feel like, with being able to get quickness out of your sets, having the resistance between your legs, especially with working to keep them the right distance, and also being able to explode out of your stance with that is always good. And some people have to do the hand ties because if you're taking a set with your hands wide apart, it's not good because they're going to get to your chest real quick. Yeah. So I have seen those be used, and it's definitely a good piece of equipment to help with those issues.
So punishment then is what you're saying. Yeah, we got you. Yeah.
Not punishment, it's just an aid.
What's been your least favorite one to use? You have one that you hate?
Not really. Yep.
Okay.
We'll check back,
Check
right?
back with me in 6 months. I
Check
might
back
be able to
after
tell
spring
you.
practice.
Might be able to tell you then, but none so far. I like most of the equipment we're using. They all have a purpose, and it's been nice to see that.
Awesome.
Where do they want you to take your weight? Like, what do you weigh now? And
I'm about 275 right now, and I want to be more or less probably around 300.
Okay.
So.
And how do they want you getting there? I mean, it's not just eating everything in sight, right? Like, can you maybe sort of go through what your, well, maybe it is eating everything in sight. Like, what is your...
I mean, they feed us here very well.
It always smells good.
It always smells good. It always tastes good, too. So eating a lot really is never an issue, but they also do have us on a good weight regimen, getting us into the gym, making sure that we don't put on the wrong weight. Because if I sat around eating like I do, I'd be 300 pounds right now, but also 40% body fat. So
no, I feel
you.
Yeah.
With all the conditioning that we do is good. I think that they want me to gain it slowly, or more or less slowly, so that when I get to the fall, I'm probably 285 from the fact that I got here at 265. Now I'm 275 in 6 weeks. So.
Okay, so doing it in steps.
Doing it in steps to not put on too much weight too fast or not enough weight too slowly, which is what I'm trying to avoid. But they just got to basically tell me to eat.
And your frame, I'm sure they can support that, right? I mean, it's not like you're going to be,
Yeah, they're definitely telling me to try to put it on and almost put on too much so I can cut it off and keep the frame lean as possible at the right weight.
Yeah.
Andrew, I'm curious. I've been asking the other guys this as well. When did you become full-time offensive lineman? Like some guys played multiple positions coming up. When was it? Offensive lineman?
It's a long story here.
There we go.
But when I first started playing football, played O-line. I'm one of the biggest guys on the team, so they automatically thought, yeah, go block that kid.
Yeah.
So basically, through elementary school and middle school, I played O-line. My 7th grade year, thought about quitting football because I hated my position. And then I ended up playing both. 8th grade, I played wide receiver on our JV squad, and I was our starting left tackle on our 8th grade squad.
Jumbo wideout? Oh my gosh.
No, I wasn't jumbo by any means because I was about 6'4", about 180.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just...
You're a lean, mean fight machine. I got you. Okay.
Point guard.
Yeah.
Nah, but my 9th grade, so my freshman year, I played tight end on our freshman team. We had a pretty good year on that team. And then my coach approached me asking, where do you want to go with football? Because at tight end, could go to like a D2 school. And with O-line, ended up here. So I think I made the right choice switching. I started at right tackle my sophomore year and then switched to left tackle my junior year and then played left tackle through to that. So
to go off of that, you did bring up obviously the conversation you had with your coach, but for you personally, like what allows you to kind of change your mind back to O-line? Because like you mentioned, he was kind of giving you the different choices, but for you personally, like when did you kind of decide to switch back to it?
I think that personally it was when I went to one camp. I went to Georgia Tech's recruiting camp as a freshman, which I don't think freshmen were even supposed to be there, but I went as a tight end. I went out, ran routes, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm nowhere close to fast enough for this. These kids are stronger than me because I'm young, but it was that mental thought process of, yeah, no, I'm not built for this.
An eye-opener then.
Yeah, it was an eye-opener, and it definitely made me think about where I wanted to go with the position I played and how I wanted to play my positions. So I thought that was a good process with that.
Okay.